Hey, hey, hey. Hey, Facebook Nation. This your girl Jamaican Joan with another episode of Influential Thursday. But please don't go anywhere because we are going to be right back. Welcome back to Influential Thursday on the Joan Henry Show. Again, I'm your host, Jamaican Joan, and I'm super excited about tonight. And this is going to be an amazing show. I said I'm going to make sure that we kick off the Women's History Month with a powerhouse woman. And tonight, I think I found a powerhouse woman to kick off Influential Thursday. So let me just give you a little bit of background about this lady, and you will learn more about her through this interview. But before I read a little bit from her bio, because if to read her bio in its entirety, that would be a show by itself, because this is a powerhouse. So we're gonna read just some of it, right? But tonight's influential quote, it says, "When writing the story of your life, don't let anyone else hold the pen." Let me say that again. When writing the story of your life, don't let anyone else hold the pen. So Dr. Jessica Mosley is a serial entrepreneur with no plans to stop anytime soon, right? Her background as a VP banking, extensive knowledge in healthcare and municipal environment brings a well-rounded perspective to her work in the entrepreneurial clients and organizations. Dr. Mosley is the steward owner of Ms. CEO Entrepreneurial Media Brand, Sovereign Care Home Care, Sovereign Care Home Medical Transportation, and Sovereign Care Medical Training Center. She is also steward owner of Deborah's Palace for battered women, children, and nonviolent ex-offenders. And she will expound on each of these businesses as we go along. So hello, Dr. Mosley, and welcome to the Joan Henry Show. How are you doing today?
Hey, Joan, it's such a pleasure to be here with you, doll. Such a pleasure.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So viewers, first of all, thank you for tuning in. And whether you're watching the live or you're watching the replay, just know that I appreciate you. If you're on Facebook and everyone over there in YouTube Nation, just know that I appreciate you week after week checking out the Joan Henry Show. So Dr. Mosley, to kick things off, so please take us on your entrepreneurial journey, starting from the beginning to where you are now. And please include the sacrifices, the setbacks, the mindset, the trials. Tell your story, girl.
I got it, Joan. It's like first of all, thank you again for this platform that you've created, and I appreciate you. We've been on each other for several years now, being on the same radio network out of the DMV, and now you doing your own thing. I'm doing my own thing. I always think that I've been an entrepreneur since I was a little girl. I was always selling something, selling Girl Scout cookies, selling penny candy to my friends for 2 cents instead of the 1 cent, because back then it was actually worth the penny. But I would always try to double or triple the profit. Like, nope, you got to give me 3 pennies for this 1 cent, one piece of penny candy. I always been hustling, right? So just grew up. I don't come from a family of entrepreneurs. My mother was a hard worker. She was a hard worker. But they say rain, hail, sleet, or snow, we deliver. The post office, my mother got out there as a single mother and made things happen for her children. But you said take you on my entrepreneurial journey, so I'll do that. I think entrepreneurship, I actually stumbled into it because I got asked to be a part of a book collaboration. Well, no, I was doing radio, like Blog Talk Radio, but I was still in corporate America, so I didn't consider that, something that was as far as entrepreneurship. But what I love about God is He got a plan for everything. He uses everything. So get into radio, Blog Talk Radio, then eventually get into got asked to be a part of a book collaboration, which went flop because the lady like literally jumped us, out of our money. And I was like, well, I'm gonna be doing my own thing. I'm about to publish my own book. But me publishing my own book, I ended up publishing other books and now publishing a lot of books. And that awarded me the opportunity to leave corporate America and become a publisher. Then I ended up hiring a coach, a business coach. And she said, well, you're doing PR. And I'm like, what's PR? She said, girl, you getting people on Steve Harvey, Dr. Oz, getting them in different publications. She said, you do PR and you're doing it for free. And I was like, well, in media, you just meet other people that's in media. So you would just make a phone call, send that email, whatever you got to do. Because I'm really big on relationship building. I think that has been the key to my success to be able to even be a full-time entrepreneur. So that was birth. The PR arm of Miss CEO was birth. And let me just put this on the record. God showed me how to spell Miss CEO, Mizceo. I had a vision of it because I was going to spell it the regular way, how it sounds. But the Lord showed me how to uniquely spell it. Miss CEO is actually in all 50 states and in 7 countries because I have a magazine. And now I help people become publishers, okay? I didn't make my first 6 figures till I started collaborating with other people. Okay, with other women. That has been a major key to my success in my business. Collaboration, networking, building relationships, authentic relationships, staying abreast to what's going on, keeping myself, I'm a forever learner. Like I'm still at Cornell University, Ivy League College, Cornell University, to do some other studies for women's studies, because like I want to say about 72%, I think it was like 72, 74% of my business is women that I interact with. And that's just the Miss CEO arm branch. But that has allowed me to be able to start other passions and dreams of mine. I do have a beauty section of Miss CEO, the body scrubs, the candle, the lipstick, and the eyelashes. You know what I'm saying? I used to be a freelance makeup artist for MAC and Chanel and Bobbi Brown Cosmetics. So that's Miss CEO. Now I have Sovereign Care Medical Training School, Sovereign Care Home Care, and so the medical school will be opening up any day, well, any week now, which I'm very excited about that because we're going to be able to help people become CNAs, phlebotomists, and pharmacy technicians. Just the doors are just opening because one dream funds another dream. And then I have Deborah's Place, the battered women's, the nonprofit for battered women. Now this allows me to go back and service people. The Bible says that once you have been strengthened, that once you've been converted, that you're supposed to go back and strengthen your brethren. So to be able to go back and help women, my pastor donated a warehouse to me because I now have partnerships with Walmart, Amazon, and CVS. And they donate to me every single week. And I'm talking about anything you could go into CVS and get besides the frozen food is in their warehouse. Anything you could go into Walmart besides the food and get is in that it's in that store, it's in my warehouse. And people can come from the community to get this. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. So God is allowing me. I got something else that I'm working on that I don't want to tell nobody because it is another extension of me. But just know that by this end of this summer, it will be open. My own. I'm so excited. So I'm just living out my dreams. People say, well, because people will try to put you in a box. They'll try to confine you and say, well, you need to just be doing this. No, if you're single-minded and that's all you can do, don't try to tell me how to till my land, because I think it's the scripture of the story of the parables when the master came in and he gave one talent, one 3 talents. Well, I think another one 5 talents. The one with the 5 and the 3 talents, they doubled theirs. But the one with the 1 talent, what did he do? He hid his. And one translation says, "You wicked and unprofitable servant." Like God is looking out for a return. So when he gives you a seed, it's not just for one fruit. It's a multiplicity of things. So I'm just walking out that right now. Yes, it's hard. I had to learn a lot of hard things in business. Well, what's that, Jessica? Always put people in the contract. Despite if you've been knowing them forever, regardless if you've been knowing them forever, you know, business is business, period. And I think that was one of the biggest things that I made a downfall in when first starting my business, was the fact that I trusted too easily. I went off of what your word was. I didn't hold people accountable to even the contracts that they had. Put people in contracts. A lot of people have hidden motives, unfortunately. You
That is
know,
so true.
always follow up behind. You just can't go off of what people say. Even if you're in a contract, do your research.
That's called trust but verify. You can trust the person, but you got to verify. So, what are some of the sacrifices that you have to make along this entrepreneurial journey?
Sacrifices.
Hmm.
Uh, Plenty. Lack of sleep, for one. My day might start at 3:50 in the morning, and I don't even have my alarm to go off at that time. I just wake up around that time. So around 3:50 in the morning, and then I might not get to bed till 9:30, 10 o'clock. Sometimes later than that on certain days, especially on Bible class night. But to whom much is given,
Much
much
is
is
required.
required. And I'm not complaining, because it allows me to employ people, right? Sacrifices, I'm everything is not going to always be an immediate profit. It's going to be a sacrifice. That's why I tell people, you see glory, but you don't know the story behind it. Or people that you thought you could work with, and then you come to find out they don't have any integrity, so you can't work with them. you know, or you might have dropped the ball somewhere, especially if you got a lot of moving parts. I'm not exempt from a mistake, right? But I'm excited. I got a radio show here now in the city on Radio One. And then we have a new Christian talk show, and I selected 3 of some of my closest friends to be on the show as co-hosts. Listen, and we are not yes women, right? So we don't be agreeing with each other, and we will go back and forth on something, trying to prove our point. Okay. And I love it because we get to address women issues. I wanted it to be an outlet when we're not arguing. Because, like I said, these women are like sisters to me, but we don't agree on everything. And I want it to be a place where women can feel safe to talk about things, that they wouldn't normally do, especially if it's not at their church. So God is opening up a lot of doors for me, Joan, and sacrifice. My kids my daughter's almost grown. My son is grown. So they don't want to hang out with mama no more. I'm boring. Okay. So I got to get something going on in my life, right?
I know that's right, and it sounds like you definitely making your mark. So thank you everyone who are watching live. Again, those will be watching the replay, and thanks to everyone over there in YouTube Nation. Fiona out of Canada, thank you for tuning in. So tell us, Jessica, what are the top 3 principles that you use to run your business, and why those 3?
Top 3 principles.
Mm-hmm.
Whew. One is doing business God's way. I'm very big on that because integrity is everything in business. Your word to me is like your money to me in business. If you tell me you're going to do something, I expect for you to do it. Period. 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 Right? So, I think that I want to be really clear about. I believe I'm still someone who believes in tithing. I tied everything off of my business. I tied 10% off of my business. Before I get anything, before anybody gets paid, I believe in giving God. I believe in doing that, the tithe. So 3 principles that I live by is the tithe, integrity, and your word.
Okay, awesome, 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 awesome. So, looking back at your bio that I've read, you have the Sovereign Home Care, the Sovereign Care Medical Transportation, the Sovereign Care Medical Training Center. So it's quite clear that the word sovereign means something to you. So please share with us the significance of that word.
You know what? I was actually on a fast. And I heard the Holy Spirit. People might say, well, she's talking about God quite a bit because I partner with him. This is his business. I'm just a steward owner over everything that God is entrusted into my hand. I understand that it's not mine, but his. And I told him any platform that I am on, I will give him the glory because nothing belongs to me. So sovereign, I heard the Lord say sovereign care. And I was like, what is that? And I'm like, well, am I in sovereign? Well, I know you're sovereign. Are you telling me I'm in your care? What is it, But sovereign care was given to me when I was coming off of a fast. He is sovereign. Nothing goes on without his permission. He is the ruler and God of all.
Okay, so that's how you came up with the name
Yes, ma'am.
Sovereign Care. Okay. So so did you want to let me see. So the you also have the company Deborah's Place for battered women.
Deborah's Place.
Deborah's
Deborah's
Place.
Place.
So
Yes.
why did you pick that name? Because I know a lot of times people name their business with a meaning. So why Deborah's? Is it Deborah or Deborah's?
It's Deborah. That's the way
Girl,
my
I'm
mother
from
spells. My mother spells her name like that, but she pronounces it Deborah.
Deborah.
So
Okay.
that name has a couple of reasons to me. Well,
Mm-hmm.
one, Deborah was a judge and a ruler in the scripture. She was a prophetess in the Bible. Okay. But Deborah, Deborah, that's the way my mother spells her name, but my grandmother never pronounced it Deborah. My mother is one of the most non-judgmental people that I know. When I was coming up, everybody stayed at her house. Drug addicts, she took her family in that was on drugs, prostitution, homeless, my mother, drunks. She did not care. She always housed and took care of people for free. And so not only did I was able to give a biblical name to it, but I was also able to honor my mother while she's living, to let her know that I saw the sacrifices that you made for other people. And now we can do the same to the community.
Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. So, as such an extraordinary visionary that you are, such an extraordinary visionary, as I would call you, how can you tell when it's the right idea? Because I know you always have ideas floating here, left, right, center. How can you tell when, yes, this is actually the right idea or it's a good idea?
Joan, this is what I live by. Anything is good if you work it. Anything will work if you work it. But do you have a passion for it? I'm not about to go out here and start a cupcake business. Even though I like cupcakes, I don't have a passion to make cupcakes. I know people who could take a cupcake and make it look like whatever you envision it to be. But that's not my lane, that's not my avenue, that's not the road that I'm traveling on. So whatever, right? So, I'm just very particular about that, about about making sure that if I do something, I'm not going to do anything that my heart isn't in just because it's a good idea or a money idea, because I have to have the passion and the drive and the want to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't have that, it's not for me.
Okay, fair enough. So this I must ask because some people say that they become an entrepreneur so that they can control their own time to do as they like. But in your opinion, is it really that simple?
No. No, because with entrepreneurship, you got to pay taxes. If you don't work, you don't get no paycheck, right? Look, when I was in corporate America, I remember one time that Affleck dude, because I was an investment banker at the time, he was trying to get me to come over to Affleck as an insurance agent because I could use my licenses over there. And I was like, I'm not coming over there. I gotta make and I think I was making like 38 grand a year. That was my base salary. And I was like, I'm not coming over there. I'm a single mother and I gotta make sure I'm getting my check. And I said, well, how much did you make this last year? He said about 240,000. And I was like, wow, I'm from the hood. I was like, dang, I can't believe that. Well, that'd never be me. The devil is a liar. I can't see myself going back to a time clock. And now I do what he did and some. But at the time, my mindset wasn't, you have to be disciplined to be an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? A real one. You got to be set up with the IRS and the SBA and all of that stuff and the Secretary of State. People will call and make sure you got a legit business. You can get shut down for some Grammy stuff. And let me tell you, people will try it. But what I'm trying to say is entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart. It's not for the weak. And if you weak, you're gonna give up. If you don't have a mindset that you gotta have a plan. People are like, well, I'm just gonna jump into entrepreneurship. So you're gonna quit your job. You got 3 kids. You don't have no plan. You going off of these social media fakes that's got pretty graphics that go rent out an Airbnb and try to make it seem like it's so cute, so beautiful with doing entrepreneurship. Because this is how I look. This is how I was looking today. Every day I'm not gonna be glammed up with my long 30-inch weave and out here doing my thing. Entrepreneur, I be grinding. One minute you might see me with some heels on, the next minute you might see me with my Ugg boots on. Whatever. But see, I'm about, listen, when you got people depending on you, you do what you gotta do. Entrepreneurship is not sweet and pretty. It's hard work, dedication, and listen, when you got employees, things change.
Absolutely. So how do you personally define success? Because I know that success forever means different things to different people, but how do you personally define success?
When I'm able to pay my bills.
Okay.
When I'm able to pay my bills every month, pay my employees every month, get out here. That's what I define as success. What did we accomplish? What goals did we hit? I got short-term goals. I got long-term goals, right? You just got to be careful what it is that you cannot I cannot go off of Joan's success. Joan might say, well, I made $50,000 this month. My budget, my goal might have to be $117,000. I don't make my $117,000. Joan make her 50 grand. I'm over here sweating bullets. So we have to be very careful that we do not go off of what somebody else's definition of success is. Because your goal, my goal might be $1,500. That'd be enough to pay for daycare. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I only had to pay, I think daycare was like, I had to pay $200 every 2 weeks. And they was there from like 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Now I think it's like $150, $200 a week. I would have passed out. I'd be like, how am I supposed to pay that and pay my rent? Girl, please.
Okay. So with all the, what I would call this now, toxicity that's in the air, people can be very toxic, especially in business, because some people, their integrity, they're lacking integrity. their lack of integrity can, just create a toxic environment, even in the entrepreneurial world. So how do you stay focused and how do you nurture your mind?
So every day, the first thing I do is feed my spirit, man, through the word, through hearing the word. I listen to sermons or, teachings. I listen to songs of worship. I'm on a prayer line, one of the prayer leaders on the prayer line 7 days a week. Okay. So how do I stay away from it? And then I guard my eye gates and my ear gates. I'm very particular about what I let come to me because as a leader, I have to make sure that I'm not exhibiting a bad attitude. I always say this, I can always tell when I've let something come in my ear gates or my eye gates because my attitude would be off. I'm very careful with that, very particular. And you better not bring me no drama.
So speaking of being careful, that kind of leads to my next question, right? So, they have this saying that for every level there is a new devil. So how do you so how do you prepare yourself when you plan to launch a business or an endeavor? Do you feel like you have to keep that hush hush mindset? How do you prepare for that?
I'm very careful. I don't never announce a move till it's made. If I make an announcement, it's probably been made about 3-4 months ago. The timing is you got to be very careful. Anytime I'm about to launch a book, I know that I'm going to need to fast and pray because warfare is real. Spiritual warfare is real. I always tell my clients, I say, listen, manifestation brings about attacks. And you'll be like, where did this come from? So never announce a move till it's made. And also don't prematurely do anything. Because God may tell you there's some things that I want to do, but I know that it's not the time. See, a lot of stuff that people see me doing, it's been in the works. Some stuff I think probably about 2 years. Jeffrey's place is 2 years. But I don't announce nothing till it's made. Period.
Okay. Awesome. And I know earlier you said that you mentioned collaboration and all the stuff that you've done with other women. So what are some of your experiences working with other women?
Good and bad.
Please do share.
Good and bad. I mean, listen, everybody's not, listen, I may have not been a good experience for people, you know, and vice versa. Our personalities don't mix. And us alpha females, woo! That could be a whole, that could be a whole train wreck right there. But somebody got to be the chief and somebody got to be the Indian. You know what I'm saying? But collaboration has been amazing for me. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to say an 11. Everything I do is with women, and I'm happy about that. I love the women that I work with. I do. I love the women that I work with. I think that they are beautiful people. Like I said, sometimes you got to know when your season in somebody's life is over. Some people are just seasonal people, and you got to be okay with that. I do got some clients that I've been working with for years, and I got some clients that we're no longer together. Goodbye. You
Yeah, because
know?
they said some people are in your life for a reason and some for a season. So yes, you gotta know when is that reason and when is that season.
Or you have to know when, they're just not in the next chapter.
True.
Some people are chapter people. You might be in chapter 1 and don't come back to chapter 8. But that doesn't mean that we don't love each other. You just got to know when somebody's part of your story is over.
Okay. So, as an entrepreneur, how do you handle when somebody say no to you?
It's no. Because for every no, God gonna send 10 yeses. Because here's the thing. And I want everybody that's going to listen to this, that are listening to this, make God your source and not people. Because I have had, can I testify?
Oh, please
I
do.
have had people to think that if they don't help me, that if, or they don't give me the business, that they're going to stop what God wants to do in my life. One, nobody has the authority or the power to stop what God is doing in your life, my life, our lives, you know. But make God your source. Then when people turn their back, because people are finicky, they are subject to change. You, when they do that, when they leave, bye. Like TD Jake said, I got the gift of goodbye. I got the gift of it. He said he think it's the 10th spiritual gift. Because when you say because when people tell you no, God got another yes around the corner. I have had people tell me no in Indiana, and I get a yes in Maryland, double what I was asking for here in Indiana. God is not limited to that person or that region or that state. He's the God of the whole universe. And I'm telling you, I'm living it. I'm not telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what I live.
Absolutely. So, as a believer, right? How can other believers who are entrepreneurs ensure the right money mindset regarding being a good steward and wealth creation?
Joan, it's simple. The scripture says, seek ye first the kingdom of God. The kingdom, God's way of doing things, and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. I'm living it. What is the kingdom's way of doing business? Pay when you're supposed to pay. If you owe people money, pay them. Give unto the Lord. Give unto others, bless others. If you operate in the principles of God, let me tell you something. I put it on my Facebook page the other day. You can't be God given. He said, if you give sparingly, you will reap sparingly. How? What is your giving like? I be looking for people to bless, and they don't even know it's me. I look for people to feed. I look for people to give into, because when you do that, the law has already been set. If you give, it shall be given unto you. Just, everything that you see me doing, Joe, all you're doing is visually seeing the conversations that I have with God.
Yes.
That's how you doing. Everything I'm doing, from publishing books, doing everything that I'm doing, all people are seeing is the visual part of the conversations that I have with God. And that comes from spending time with God. Everybody be very leery of quick fixes or quick money. And
Let me
let me
say
tell
that
you something
again.
else. Real money don't make a lot of noise. I know millionaires that walk around with dirty jeans on and t-shirts. These real flashy people, be very careful of them. I'm talking about people that can write you a check that you would never even think got the money. It's a book that I do highly recommend. It's called The Millionaire Next Door. You'd be surprised who got money and who don't got money. Because real money don't make a lot of noise. It don't make a lot of
Right. Well said. Thank you, Michelle, for tuning in. Yes. Seeking the kingdom. Yes. So, as a very successful entrepreneur, what word of encouragement would you offer to a budding entrepreneur? Somebody who's just maybe having one foot in, one out, just trying to find their way to entrepreneurship, but can't seem to kind of grasp it. What words of encouragement or advice would you give to such person?
good, better, best. I should never let it rest. So my good is my better, and my better is my best. No one gets anything if they quit. I'm gonna keep what running because a winner don't quit on themselves. It's power in keep going. It's power in enduring. Joan, do you have any children?
Yes, two.
So do you remember, did you have your babies naturally?
Yes.
So do you remember what could have happened if you would have gave up? Because my labor
Uh-huh.
pains was so bad, I asked them to let me die. I said, just let me die. I can't do this. I'm serious. I was out good bad world because the pain was so, but I endured. And what was the joy that was before me, my children? I don't even
Yes.
remember the labor pains. I have to make myself remember it. Right? Same thing. Everything, if you get things easy, you will never appreciate it. You won't take care of it. You won't value it. I'm going through the process of trying to get my school open, right? I am frustrated. Labor pains. But I know sooner or later, I'm going to have that paper. I'm going to go live on all my social medias. And I'm going to be like, look what the Lord has done. I already envision the joy. I'm already envisioning it, right? But right
Uh,
now I'm in preparation mode. I'm going through the process. That's all you can do is go through the process.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you for tuning in, Rosita. Miss Rosita Banks Taylor, thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Daisha Thompson, for tuning in as well. So that question was geared towards the budding entrepreneurs. So we're still in a pandemic, yeah, and people are still in a place where they're just still trying to bounce back from everything that happened with their business, whatever their business was, trying to bounce back. Some are still trying to just hang in there. So, what words of advice would you give to these already entrepreneurs who are still fighting to maintain their business during these challenging times?
Keep going. Get in a group with other entrepreneurs who are doing it right. Because here's the thing. Nobody's an island. That's what I've learned in business. If you stay by yourself, then you're gonna give up. But if you get with other entrepreneurs who's really doing it, you'll be like, listen, I might call Joan and be like, Joan, I don't think I can do it today. Joan gonna be like, girl, please, you got this. You know what I'm saying? You got this. Or I might, I have a mentee group. I encourage them, keep going. Because I'm telling you, I'm so glad I did not quit when I only sold one book. I'm so glad I didn't quit when I only had one client. I'm so glad I did not quit because had I quit, I wouldn't be the woman that I am today and am becoming in business. When you start sitting down at the table with presidents and CEOs and governors and mayors, things start to, hey, wait a minute. Listen, your whole demeanor change.
Yeah,
When you on the boards, when you're asked to be on boards and stuff, because they want your entrepreneurial expertise, because people can see, but you got to keep going.
absolutely. So, how important, in your own words, how important is authenticity in business?
Girl, be your authentic. You know what? This is what I love about me, right? I'm loud. I am crazy. I laugh a lot. I don't always pronounce all the syllables in my word. I might be like, girl, I ain't doing it. You know, I might be like, is we? But I'm being Jessica. People don't do business with your business. They do business with you. I always remember that. Have you ever had a bad experience at McDonald's down the street? But you want some McDonald's, so you're gonna go to the McDonald's all the way across town because they give good customer service, right? So when be my authentic self, I show up as Jessica, or as my friends call me Jay, or J Dog, you know, people love that. Be your authentic self. When I'm on the board for the Chambers of Commerce here in my city. when they'll be having their meeting, and then when they say Dr. Mosley, I'll be like, what's up? What's up? Let's get it popping. The whole room will light up. Energy. People love having a good time.
Yes, and I learned that a
I don't
long
like
time
fake
ago.
people, Joan. I don't like fake.
No.
I can't do it. I'm sorry. If I gotta be all, well, the great papa. I'm in the wrong room. I'm gonna be irritated. I have to be myself.
But and when you do that, it may be cute for a while, but eventually people will see through that, and it's going to be more like a repellent. People will not want to do business with you because they're going to see through that foolishness. They're going to see through that fakeness, and they're not going to want to do business with you, because if you could be doing all this carrying on, they're not going to want to do business with you because they know that it's not real. If you think people can see through your foolishness and through all the shenanigans you're trying to keep up, keep on doing it, and then you will find out just how much they really know that that's fake. That's not you. So my thing is to just be the best version of you. Be the best you that you can be. Period.
Period. Because I might come in there with 3 pair of lashes on, honey. It depends on how I'm feeling that day. I'm being serious. Glitter on my eyes, might have a good, contour going on. Whatever I feel like being that day, that's what I'm gonna be. And I'm not for everybody, and I'm so okay with that. I'm not for everybody, and I'm okay with that. Because I'm loud, Joan. I might be like, what's up? You want somebody to be like, hello, girl, go take your shy stuff over there, because that's not me. Right? So don't try to get me to conform to who you are, because how you do business has got you nowhere with trying to be something that you're not. But me being my authentic self, I have clients that are celebrities, clients that are CEOs, and what you see right now is how I am with everybody. I'm no different. I have federal prosecutor, judges, lawyers, doctors, women that are vice presidents and presidents of bank, different sections in the bank. I am this way. When I get on the phone with them, I be like, what up? How is your day? That's me.
And right, and that's you, because somebody else may try to do that and it may not work for them. So the whole point is, do you be the best version of you that you can be, and then and only then will you continue to have great support in business. So along with that, Dr. Jess, so I'm big on encouraging people to be intentional about the things that they are doing. What's your take on that?
I agree 1,000%. Everything you do should have a purpose and an underlined mission behind it. So we get up and we feed the hungry, right? On this Saturday. My intention is to help and to serve. Okay, then how do I do that? We prepare several hundred boxes of, we got the food and all that stuff. Everything, because there's always a goal in mind. And what is that? I was once them. So I know how they think. I know how they feel. So when it comes to matters of the heart like that, I am very intentional on who I work with, because I don't care about your education. I don't care about your experience. I care about your compassion, because people like that, they need compassion. The Bible says that Jesus saw the multitude and he was what? Moved with compassion. Some people, they do stuff just so that they can say that they did it. But your intentions will always be exposed.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. So yeah, so I totally believe in, people being intentional with the things that they do. When you show up with intention, show up great. Don't just show up because, oh, I got invited, or somebody, made me want to tell me I got to do this, tell me I got to do that. When you show up with intention and show up great. Don't just, I'm here. You got to show up and show out,
And show
right?
up with a good attitude. Don't nobody want to be around your ugly self. You already ugly, then you got a bad attitude. Don't nobody want to be around that. Girl, back.
I
Get
know.
on, push on.
I know. And as even in the
I don't want to
workplace,
be
that
around
is,
all that.
oh no, absolutely, absolutely not. I cannot stand boring, miserable, mean people, especially
How
the
you
ones
gonna
for
be mean
no,
and ugly?
especially the one for no good reason. If you're down, that we all have our little down moments, but that cannot be your way of life all day, every day. You just never happy, never pleased, never satisfied. What kind of life is that? You got to find something to be joyful about. The simple fact that you are here in the moment, celebrating that day, you're alive. That's enough reason to be thankful for. So if you can't even put a smile on your face to say, God, I thank you, in spite of, because we all have trials and tribulations, but in spite of, we just got to continue to press through to make it happen. But we cannot just get up every single day, just be mad all the time. You can't do that.
Life is too short. It is.
I know personally I was not created for that, so I can see me doing that. That won't happen at all. Yeah, Sharon says misery love company. Yes, and if you allow
Oh,
yourself to
let me
fall,
tell you. Let me preach on that. Let me tell you something here. Misery loves company. It loves to live. It wants you to live in the same apartment that it lives in. It's some miserable people out here, and I will not be keeping company with you ever again. And I don't want to be around the crabs in the barrels either. That's in the barrels. They don't want you to go. No, you know what I tell all my mentees? Like, seriously, I want you to surpass me. A real mentor, coach, counselor, they want you to do better than them. So if you got a coach or a mentor and they always trying to pull you down, baby, it's time for me to find somebody else.
and you know what? And speaking of that, so in addition to that, because I get where you're going with this, but I've been in the social media world for a long time. I've always been on here doing something. And there are some people, mostly women, that they portray themselves to be this is the my sister's keeper kind of person. But try reaching out to them for something and then you find out just how much the keeper they are to you. Some people are stingy. They talk the game, right? But they're not really playing the game. They talk all this to make themselves look good. But look at the way how they function. If you're not really at the top of the top, they try to keep you all the way down here. They're not for all women. They say that they are, but they're really not. Just look at the way they operate. Ain't no giving back. There's no blessing somebody over here. God forbid you have a situation. Oh, we ain't got time for that. We trying to make our mark in the world. What kind of foolishness is that? I just wish that women would be more caring for, we should be more caring for one another, to just loving each other more, and to make sure that all women matter, because we all matter. You know what I'm saying? Case in point, I have a conference coming up the ending of this month. And I did that on purpose. I purposely planned it for, Women's History Month, because oftentimes when we celebrate Women's History Month, majority of the time, right, it's highlighting the movers and shakers and everybody that just doing phenomenal. But if we never reach down to pick up the woman who was down, how can they ever be a part of this greatness? We cannot just overlook them. And then I got a phone call one day this week. A young lady wanted me to help her out. And when she told me what it was about, I got scared. I'm like, okay, no, God, I know you said you will enlarge my territory, but I don't know about this, because I just don't know. But anyway, she wanted some help with the hearing impairment population. And I'm like, that's a lane that I have never traveled. Nonetheless, I said, let me, at least let me listen to hear how I can help, because that didn't sound like anything that I would be able to assist with. But it turned out that she explained how much, in the hearing impairment community, that it's a group of women that is kind of pushed to the curb, because most of them, especially in this new social media era that we're in, not everything has a closed caption. And
Right.
so with that being said, they get left. They cannot attend like a conference just like you and I with our hearing, because it's not closed caption. So they would just be sitting there just looking. There's not enough resources for them. And she wanted to ask me, how can I help her? Well, the best that I could do, I plan to have her on, do a special broadcast with her so that she can, state what's going on. And then hopefully my viewers and everybody else who will share it can we come together to see how best we can help this population, because it's Women's History Month. Every woman should be on cloud nine. There shouldn't be some walking in greatness, then you have the others walking down here barefoot, just sitting in a corner. I mean, we gotta, I think we can do better as women. We are doing great, but we can always do better. I think sometimes we forget, the other people who aren't like the most social media savvy, the most entrepreneurial savvy, but we got to make sure that these are the people that we try to reach. Yes, we're going to try to definitely network with somebody who's going to help us to make our business stronger, to help so we all can take our business to another level. But don't forget the ones who are less fortunate at the end of the day. Because on this conference coming up on the 27th, I have someone who's going to be talking about one person. She's a divorce coach, because during this pandemic, especially a lot of things just went south. So she's a divorce coach. We have someone who's going to be talking about domestic violence. Somebody's going to be talking about mental health. And believe it or not, someone who's going to be talking about sexual violence in the church. See, a lot of times we don't know about some of these things, but when you hear from the other women, you realize that there's a whole world out there with just women who are under pressure, women who need some elevation, and we got to find platforms. We got to find ways to elevate these women as well. So that's just my spiel. Like, I believe as women, we should all help to bring up the other women. Don't just feel like you've arrived so you could just sit at the top and just be all cute, because we were blessed to be a blessing. And like you just said, Jessica, you mentioned my favorite scripture. Matter of fact, if you call my phone and if I miss the call, what you're going to hear: to whom much is given, much is required. That is my recording on my phone. And we just got to help some more. And everybody's much is going to be different. Your much, you may be pulling in $50,000 a week. My much may be $500 a week. Just bless somebody along the way. And everything does not always have to be about money. If you have a skill set, teach someone that skill set so that they can go out and make that money.
Right.
You don't have the money to give them, but teach them that skill set. Everything doesn't have to come with a dollar sign attached to it. And I think that's where we're falling short a lot of times. If you had somebody, how do you do this? Automatic. Yep, sign up for my coaching class. I mean, there's certain things that you can give people information. Everything doesn't have to be sign up for my coaching class. I could.
Yeah, most of them don't even have. Most of them, they struggling if they do that.
Yeah.
Poverty mentality.
Yes. And you do have some people that they don't want to share because they are afraid that the other person may level up with them. But see, to me, well, not just to me, because I know this for a fact, what is for you, what is for me cannot be for anybody else. We all have our own calling. We all have our purpose. Everything was already predestined for us. We're just living it out. We're just, living it out loud. But everything was already predestined for us, created for us. Even before we were born, God knows what the things that He have laid out in our paths, right? So whatever is meant for you, can nobody take that. It is for you, because He doesn't make mistake. It's not like, oops, this was supposed to be for Dr. Jessica. Dash gun it, I gave it to Joan. No, He knows precisely what is for you, what is for me, what is for Sharon, what is for everybody. Everybody, He knows what He has for you. So therefore, don't be stingy. Don't be afraid to bless someone else, because the more you give, the more you receive. I look at it this way, Doc. If God bless you with something, yeah, and I don't want to use my mouse because I don't want to end this call. So let me use my pen. This is your hand full with your blessing, right? And day after day, you continue to hold on to the same old blessing, hanging on to this pen. That's my blessing. Where on earth will God find a space to bless you with something new? That means you're going to continue to hold on to the same whole blessing day after day after day. And I don't know about you, but I love new blessings. So that is why I stop at nothing to give away the old blessing so that I can receive new ones. New blessing, new mercy day by day. I need that. I don't need to sit there hanging on to the same whole blessing, hanging on to the same. No, I need to give that up so that I could make room for new ones. I mean, what's your
Absolutely.
take on that?
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. You give, it shall be given unto you.
Yeah,
You give out with the old and with the new. It's a
that's right.
recycling. It's a recycling then. Recycle, recycle,
Yeah,
recycle, recycle, recycle. That's how
yeah.
it's called the circle of life.
Yeah. And we're nearing the end of the show. So is there anything else that you would like to share with the viewers, Doc, including any upcoming events, any project? Is there anything that you can share with us at this time?
Well, I just want to say to whoever's going to watch this show and is watching this show, never give up. I know we've heard it so many times. You may have heard it in different languages, but I promise you sorry, the blessing is when you keep going. There is no shortcuts to success. There is none. You cannot cheat the grind because you can only get out of the grind what you put in the grind. Period. Success begins with the fellow's will. What are you willing yourself to do? And also, don't share big dreams with small-minded people.
Say that again.
Do not share big dreams with small-minded people. You got vultures and you got eagles. You got pigeons and you got chickens. Which one are you? Which one are you? I'm a butterfly, baby. I'm an eagle. I hang around eagles. I hang around eagle mentality people. You are only as good as the people you hang around. Who and what are you hanging around? What are you listening to? People say, oh, you're doing great things. I'm doing great things because I hang around the great one. You know? So don't ever give up and never discuss your big dreams with small-minded people.
All right. So with that being said, how can people find you, follow you on social media?
You know where I be. And not You can find me on Instagram, IG at I am Miss CEO, IAMMIZ CEO, or you can just follow me on social media, Dr. Jessica Mosley, where you see it spelled there. And yes, I do go to Twitter and I do be arguing with the political people because I do like politics. Okay, don't judge me. But yes, I am. I mean, I'm on Instagram, LinkedIn. No, let's see. What is that? LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook is Dr. Jessica Mosley. And then you can find me on IG as I am Miss CEO.
Okay, awesome. So viewers, thank you for watching, whether you're watching on Facebook, whether you're watching the live, whether you're watching the replay. For everyone over there in YouTube Nation, thank you. And let me just close by saying this.
Thank you,
I
Joan, for
urge,
having me.
you're welcome. You're not done yet. Hang in there. Let me put my closing remarks. Let me close with this. I urge you to put in the work to make whatever it is that you're trying to do to make it a reality. You got to put in the work if you want success. Success is not going to happen just because you want it to happen. You got to put in the work to make your dreams come true. Remember that it takes both rain and sunshine to build a rainbow. Two things that are so different, yet when put together could be so beautiful, right? And the rain in this case may be the financial investment. You're gonna have to come up with that money for that business. The sacrifices you're gonna have to make, the sleepless nights, the naysayers that you may have to get by. All those could consider your rain. But your sunshine is that reaping season. That season when you could walk into the store and purchase the things that you truly desire. That season when you don't have to rob Peter to pay Paul. That season when you can bless your community without even thinking twice. That's your sunshine. So again, it takes both rain and sunshine to build a rainbow. I have been your host, Jamaican Joan. And until next time, please take care and make this $1 million day. Jamaican Joan and Dr. Jessica Mosley, we are out. Have an amazing night.